Hey everybody, welcome back to another WV Guns and Goats video, and tonight we're taking a look at this rifle right here, the IWI Carmel. Now this is a rifle that came out a couple years ago. It didn't get a lot of fanfare and it kind of just flew under the radar of most people, but I think this is a really interesting rifle and it might be a good AR-15 alternative, especially if you're looking for something that has a short stroke gas piston like this rifle does, and also most of those amenities that you'd expect from a modern semi-automatic rifle. Before we get into all the features that this rifle has and what makes it unique, how about you go ahead and headbutt that subscribe button to join the herd here at WV Guns and Goats. So from what I understand, this originally started as a .308 rifle design down in Israel. And it kind of sat around on the shelf until IWI US was looking for a new rifle design, and they saw the Carmel. They decided to scale it down to 5.56 because they already have the Tavor 7 in .308. So this is why this rifle is a little bit on the large side for a 5.56 rifle. In fact, this weighs just over 8 pounds. I believe it's 8 pounds 2 ounces. Now, another point of contention with this rifle is this handguard right here. A lot of people were upset and said it was too Americanized with an M-LOK handguard because they wanted the original prototype handguard, and here's what that rifle originally looked like. But what we're going to do is look at the rifle, all its features, regardless of what kind of handguard it has with it, because I believe there is a project to bring back the original handguard as an aftermarket part. But what we're going to do now is we're going to start from the front to the rear and go over all the features that this rifle has. At its core, the Carmel is a semi-automatic 16-inch barrel 5.56 rifle that takes AR mags and has a short stroke gas piston system. Let's look at its specific features. The barrel is cold hammer forged, chrome lined, and free floated, 1-in-7 twist and 1/2x28 threading. This comes with a muzzle brake from the factory, but because of the 1/2x28 threading, you can put any kind of muzzle device or silencer on this that you'd put on a normal AR-15. Now, I think this rifle will suppress pretty well. We're going to find out on the range in the next video, because right here is a window in the handguard that you can access the gas regulator system. It has 2 settings, suppressed and regular. The handguard on this rifle is aluminum, and it has M-LOK slots at 3, 6, and 9. It also has 2 more M-LOK slots up here higher on the gun, where I have my Holosun raid light mounted. Starting here to here is a full-length Picatinny rail. It is also a metal rail, and it's bolted to the rifle in 3 different positions. Now, starting from about here back to the back of the stock, this gun is mostly polymer construction, and it's the same polymer as the Tavors are made out of. Now, right here is a slot, and that is for the charging handle, but you don't see a charging handle on that side. Well, I'm going to make it appear. Boom, there's the charging handle. The really cool thing about this gun is it has an ambidextrous charging handle. All you do is pull it back to this larger section of the charging handle slot and push it through, and then you can lock it forwards. It is a non-reciprocating charging handle. I wish it had the Tavor 7's dual ejection, that you can change the ejection port side, but it is only on the right side on this gun, and it has a polymer dust cover here to protect the action from dirt and debris getting into it. Now, this lower on this gun is completely ambidextrous. We have a mag release right here, and above that is a bolt catch. And back here we have a safety. Now, the controls on the right side of the gun are smaller than the controls on the left side of the gun. You'll see that here when I spin this rifle around. Now, because the safety paddle is smaller than the left side safety paddle is about the same size as a traditional AR-15 safety paddle, it can feel kind of stiff and harder to flip on and off. The safety on this gun is very tactile, very audible, easy to feel it flip on and off. It comes with a B5 Systems grip that's stippled aggressively and has a very nice angle to it. We'll talk about the trigger in this gun here in a little bit. because it's surprisingly good. At the top rear of the receiver, and here's my AEMS green dot sight that I'm using on here, we have a QD sling point. Now, this sling point is ambidextrous as well. It's right here and on the left side of the gun, so they're right across from each other. Now here we go, the stock. This is a big, sturdy stock, and it has one of the largest folding latches on it that I've ever seen. So it does fold, unlike rifles with a buffer tube system. Here's that large latch, and the thing about that latch is you need to use a good bit of force to get it to latch into the usable position. I've tried to open it or close it, whichever you want to consider it, to get it into this position. I've had it bounce back just because I didn't use enough force. You got to be kind of rough with the stock on here. It has an adjustable cheek piece that moves up and down, kind of like you'd find on a SCAR stock. And we also have the traditional length of pull, sliding position, 6 different positions on this sliding section of the stock, and a rubber grippy butt pad on here. There's also a sling point right here, and that same sling point is on the left side of this stock as well. Let me flip this around and we're going to take a look at the left side of the gun. Here I have a 5.56 round in that gas regulator. Up, as it is right now, is suppressed, and down is regular. The nice thing about this is you just need a 5.56 round to adjust the gas on this rifle. And then coming back here, we have that charging handle slot again. Push that through, just like so, and lock it forwards. So I really do like that ambidextrous charging on this firearm. And then on this side, you can see we have a very large bolt release paddle. If I can find it, there it is. That's the large bolt release paddle. And then we have an extended mag release right here and our larger safety paddle right here. I'm gonna go ahead and hit that. Okay, now the bolt is forwards. I'm gonna show you the trigger in this gun. This is a very nice trigger for a rifle that comes from a military-based company. It's got some take up to it. Oh, and there is not an AR-15 fire control group in this gun. It is its own fire control group. So back to the trigger, it has some take up to it, and we hit a firm wall, and that's it. There's not a ton of over travel to this trigger. Let me go ahead, rack it again. We'll pull the trigger back, hit the wall, clean break, the gun would have fired. And I've heard very good things about the accuracy of this rifle, and a lot of people do attribute it to this trigger. Honestly, I don't see where I'd want to improve the trigger on this gun. For what it is, it's a nice factory trigger, and honestly, I'm not sure if anybody is ever going to come out with a trigger for this gun, so it's nice that the factory trigger is really good in this rifle. So that's all the features of the IWI Carmel. So what do I think about the IWI Carmel and its features before we get it out to the range? Well, I really like this as an alternative to an AR-15. Yeah, it's kind of on the heavier side, being just over 8 pounds, but we've kind of countered that by using just a lightweight optic and a lightweight light. So I know some of the AR-15s out there, once people start adding all the accessories to them, they get up heavy as this rifle is anyway, but we kind of combated the weight of this rifle with the lightweight accessories. Now, what else do I think about this gun? Well, as an alternative to an AR-15, one of the most important things is getting parts. And IWI is one of the few companies that have non-AR rifles that will supply you parts for them. Heck, there's some companies that have AR-style rifles, such as SIG, that won't sell you spare parts at all. IWI will sell you a bunch of spare parts. And there's another armory out in Springfield that won't sell you spare parts. They just want you to send the rifle back into them. Being able to buy spare parts and repair the rifle if anything goes wrong with it, well, that's always a good thing to be able to keep your rifle running. And that's one of the reasons I think that this rifle stands apart from some of the other non-AR designs out there on the market. Also, when it comes to aftermarket, well, there's not really much of an option out there. However, I don't know what you could really add to this rifle. Well, if you want to go back to the original handguard, people are working on that, but I don't really see a need for that. Just looking at this as its own rifle, not with what was shown off before, what it could have been. I'm looking at it as what it is right now. I don't see much you'd have to add. You already have an M-LOK handguard right here, standard threads, adjustable gas system. You have a nice grip. Of course, it is an AR grip, so you could change that if you really wanted to, but this one feels fine. The trigger is nice in this gun, and that's a good thing because I don't think anybody will really be making an aftermarket trigger for the Carmel. It just doesn't have a huge following out there, and I think that's kind of a sad thing. I think this is a nice rifle that more people should look into. I know a lot of people added these to their collection when Palmetto State Armory had some blemished rifles that were going for right around $1,000, and a lot of people bought those if they were curious about the Carmel. However, normal MSRP, I'm going to put it on the screen. I'm really excited to get this rifle out to the range and see how it does. We're going to shoot it unsuppressed and suppressed, so we're going to try out both of those gas settings. We're going to try it with multiple different types of 5.56, 223 ammo, including steel case. I have some old Wolf steel cased ammo. We're going to see how it runs in this gun here. We're also going to try it with different magazines. I have a slew of magazines from different manufacturers. Some have good reputations, some have not so good reputations. We're going to try them all in the Carmel here when we get this out to the range. So everybody, stay tuned for that video. This has been another WV Guns & Goats video. I really appreciate you watching to the end. If you were curious about the IWI Carmel rifle, let me know down in the comments. Do you own one of these rifles? Have you shot one before? What do you think about it? And as always, everybody, if you're not out there having fun shooting, well, what are you doing?